I wanted to see if it was possible to build a table entirely from denim. So the first step was to buy a ton of denim. This is over 1,200 square feet of 14-ounce denim that measures about 0.035 inches thick. And you don't need to remember that number, but the reason why I need to know that number is if I'm going to have a 1.75 inch thick table, I need to have 50 layers of this denim. So this is the best bad idea I had, just to put one layer down soaked in epoxy and do it again 49 times. And this was even more painful than you think it was. This took me all freaking day. I was soaked in epoxy. Eventually, I clamped it down and it squeezed out so much epoxy. I came back the next day and this is what it looked like. Oh my God. I don't think this could have gone any worse. I started this project thinking it was going to be my favorite project of all time, and at this point I was just hoping to salvage it. I didn't even know if I'd be able to finish the table. It looked so bad. Everything was going wrong, and my shop was covered in epoxy. So spent the first part of the day just chiseling up epoxy and trying to make my shop resemble something to what it looked like before this epoxy disaster. Normally I have a rule in furniture design, and that is that you want a statement top or a statement base, but not both on the same piece, meaning if you have a crazy tabletop, you don't want crazy table legs because they tend to distract from each other. This time though, I'm going to break that rule. These are white oak legs, and I have a viewer named Shaheen who does upholstery, and he asked if he could contribute to a project. So he's going to wrap these in stitched leather. He wouldn't take any money from me, and he doesn't know this yet, but I'm actually going to give him this whole table at the end of this video. You'll probably be surprised to learn that you can work denim almost just like working wood. The epoxy infused with the denim allows it to be machined and sanded just like wood. This is my idea for the top though. I wanted a nice clean top. I know that kind of Damascus layered effect looked cool, but I did some test pieces and it didn't look as cool when finished. So I put one final clean layer on it, got it clamped down on the underside here. Then I'm going to come back the next day and go to work on the top. Even though these projects are the most frustrating, the most time consuming, and honestly the most expensive, I have the most fun doing these kind of weird, wild projects. But I'd love to know what you guys actually want to see. Would you rather see more traditional woodworking, or do you like these more creative, experimental ones? And if you do want to see more projects like this, I would love it if you hit that follow or subscribe button. I kept adding features to this desk that made the build more and more difficult, but in the end, I can't imagine not including all of them. And if you're wondering, this is a really simple jig that I created that enabled me to recess in the coolest desk hardware that I've ever even seen. This particular hardware is machined, I believe, from a solid billet of brass, and it is my favorite feature of this. And in the end, I'll give you a really good reveal of all three of those. For the edge profile, I went with the same 3/4 inch roundover that I did on the legs for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to match the legs perfectly, and two, it'll expose that 50 layers, kind of that Damascus effect of this denim. If you want to try your hand at making your own denim furniture, first off, I highly encourage it. I'm not going to discourage you from trying it and just say, oh, it's too difficult, don't do it, so I could be the only one doing denim furniture. I got the idea because I saw a guy online that made sunglasses out of little bits of denim and epoxy and thought it was super cool. So I don't feel like any one person owns a particular style. That said, there are a few things that you can do to make it a little bit easier. Don't try a traditional finish like you've seen me use, like Rubio. You'll need some sort of polyurethane type of finish. This is a 2K acrylic, but you can use something like Arm-R-Seal. And to protect the piece, though, whether you finish it with Arm-R-Seal or an acrylic, this N3 Nano is going to do an exceptional job of keeping it that rich, wet look and providing protection for years. Shaheen saved the last few stitches on this leg so we could have something to film when he brought them over, and they look incredible. But remember, he doesn't know that I'm giving him this entire desk right now. I made these brass plates so I could have kind of a recessed, tricked mounting look, which I actually really like the way this brass and denim looks together, and now I was ready to give it away. All right, Shaheen, you want to take this with you, or you want me to deliver it to you?
The table?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
This is for you.
No way.
Yeah.
What, really? I spent so much time on the legs to make it for you. Oh my gosh.
I told you it's for a perfectionist. If you'd like to see more of that interaction with Shaheen, I also have a 30-minute version of this video you can check out. And if you'd like to see less of that interaction, I also have a 60-second version of this video.